Hi guys, in this video I want to talk about why diabetics tend to get high blood pressure, okay? Well, first of all, if you're a type 2 diabetic, you have insulin resistance, which means you have higher levels of insulin, okay? So what happens, the insulin's not working, so you have to take metformin or glucophage to be able to get the receptor to accept insulin. But then, on the other hand, because there's no return communication to the pancreas, the feedback loops, you get increased insulin by 5 to 7 times a normal person. If you want to understand more of that, I put a link down below. But the point is that diabetics type 2 have higher levels of insulin, which then cause the retention of sodium, okay? Which then cause the retention of water. So they have edema, swelling. And yes, also insulin increases inflammation in the arteries, as well as certain constriction in the tone of the vessels. But the point is that the main thing it will do is it cause retention of sodium, retention of fluid, increased blood pressure. That's the mechanism. Now, the treatment, of course, is to go on a low-salt diet, right? Well, what's going to happen if you lower salt? You still haven't fixed the high insulin. So now you create a sodium deficiency. So you're going to get weakness, fatigue, constipation, things like that, because you need a certain amount of sodium for nerve and muscle function. And then you get put on medication, usually a diuretic, which then has a side effect of lowering potassium. Well, guess what? If you lower potassium, which normally lowers blood pressure, you're going to increase the relative ratio of higher sodium because potassium and sodium work together. So you don't want to lose any more potassium from your body. In fact, one of the best things you could do if you're diabetic is increase more potassium from the diet, a lot of vegetables, and even as a supplement as well. And you can improve the situation. So you don't want to necessarily restrict sodium too much. And then also another side effect from the diuretic is insulin resistance, which will increase more insulin. So the medication ends up aggravating the condition and making it worse, okay? Why? Because it's not treating the underlying cause, insulin resistance. So here's what do. What you want to do is get on a keto program. I put a link down below, which is basically going to reduce your carbohydrates, which will then reduce your need for insulin, which will then reduce the need for retention of sodium. And you'll find that you'll lose your fluid. You'll actually have normal balance of sodium, and you probably have to consume more sodium because you won't retain it anymore. Okay? So watch those links down below and let me know what you think. Hey, before you leave, I just wanted to give you a little quick history on some of the books that I wrote. This was one of the first books. It's called Dr. Berg Body Shapes. It was my attempt at writing about body types. What was very interesting about this book is I actually did all the images myself. Don't ask me why. They look actually not quite as professional as some of the images that I have in the new book. But anyway, this is my first attempt right here called Dr. Berg's Body Shape Diets. And then I wrote a book more extensive called The 7 Principles of Fat Burning. I don't even have a copy anymore, actually, because it's outdated. The next book, I put about 1,000 hours into this one right here called The New Body Type Guide. Major updates on the body types. I put a lot of energy into this. It has professional images, graphics, all sorts of things. Now, the problem with this book is it doesn't really describe what this is really about. Body types are only a small portion of what's in this book. And that's why I changed the name to the Healthy Keto Plan, okay? If you happen to have this book, you don't really need this book because there's some only very, very minor updates. But if you don't have this, you need to get this one right here. This book goes into every single detail that you would ever want to know about. It goes into the 7 principles of fat burning. It goes into hormones, the body types, the basic keto plan. It goes into intermittent fasting. I talk about the 10 fat burning triggers and blockers and fat burning strategies with a lot of details in every single chapter. I go into body issues that interfere with losing weight. There's very few people that just have a weight problem. They have a lot of body issues, whether it's sleeping problems, stress problems, inflammation, menopause. I cover that extensively in this book. Then I talk about how to get rid of stress, and I show you a technique. Then I get into exercising, And then I have a lot of really good recipes in this book as well. So this is a good reference guide. On my website, if you get this book, you get this one free. It's called Healthy Keto Intermittent Fasting. This is the shortcut, quick guide to this book. And the reason I created this book is to have you, within 45 minutes, learn how to do keto, okay, in intermittent fasting, exactly what you need to do. Then you can fill in the blanks with this book right here. So right now I'm doing a special. If you get this book, you get this one totally free, or you can go to Amazon and get these individually. So I just want to clarify the difference between this book and this updated one right here. If you don't have this, you need to get this right here. That way you can get the exact correct information to do it healthily.